Hey guys, welcome back. And this is the last tutorial of the track, and this will be about mastering. So, it's basically the same issue as with mixing. I don't want you to watch me master this track for like an hour, tweaking all that kind of stuff. So, I just want to show you what I did and why I did it, and just so you get to know the process. So I always start the mastering with an EQ, and this is the EQ8 set to the mid-side mode. So you have basically you start in stereo mode, but you can select the mid-side mode and tweak the side and the mids separately. And I just cut away the low frequencies on the side just to get the bass and the kick in mono and make sure that everything is cool. You can activate this preview button here, the audition, and actually if you select the band and hold the mouse, you can hear what you're doing. Followed by this mid-side EQ is the normal EQ8 with just a harsh low cut below 40 or 38 hertz to get rid of all the unnecessary low end, because that just eats up a lot of energy you need for a clean and loud and tight mix and master. So just get rid of this. I dipped a little bit in the mid frequency area, like around 500 hertz, and cut away the highs because we don't have too much high frequency content anyway, because it's lo-fi. So I felt this was a good move. Next up is a plugin I can really recommend. I haven't used it on those tracks because it feels like cheating to use it, but it's the Soothe 2 by Oak Sound. It's just incredible. It's a dynamic frequency suppressor, really good against all those resonances, against harshness, too muddiness. And I always use the Balance to the Grammy Awards preset on my master, not because I think those tracks are going to get to the Grammy Awards, but rather because I like the curve of it, because I tend to have a lot of low mids and a lot of harsh frequencies, and this is perfect to soothe my mix and suppress the resonances. You can even hit the delta button and see what you're doing. You can reduce the mix. You don't want this to be too much because it will sound artificial then, but just a tiny mix, just mixed to a tiny bit, it will sound really great and really smooth. Followed is a glue compressor with high attack, automatic release, and the threshold pulled up to minus 40 dB, so it's really over compressing, but we just mix it to the original signal for some nice parallel compression. Then comes the OTT. I know a lot of people are making jokes about it, but I actually like to have this on my master because it adds some air, I guess, and makes everything sound tight. I mean, of course, you don't go 100%, but if you just mix it to it kinda opens up the whole track. The last plugin before the limiter is the channel EQ. It's also an Ableton plugin, and I like this because it kind of has an analog feel to it, and I just use it to reduce everything. And look at the curve. It's not like it's just basically reducing everything, but rather a nice analog curve. I increased the output before the limiter because I had so much headroom that I needed to increase the output in order to hit the threshold of the limiter. But I use this channel EQ just to do the last final tweaks to kinda, if I feel like, I have too much lows going on, I reduce it. If I have too many mids, I reduce it. If I have too less highs, I increase it, and so on and so forth. It's basically just like a very simple mixer for me. And last is the limiter, which increases the volume. If you have your volume loud now because the whole track was pretty quiet, I advise you to turn it down now because I'm going to play it with plus 24 dB. Now. So, this mastering chain was just drag and dropped here and I haven't checked it. What we're actually aiming for is a threshold that it's just that the limiter is just catching the peaks. So you don't want to crush your mix, at least if that's not your goal, but you just want to make sure it's subtly hitting the gain reduction, so every peak is getting caught. Okay, and that's it for the mastering. Again, it's really a process of getting forth and back. I always master in the main project, where I can also quickly go back to the mixing stage and tweak some volumes or some EQs because I feel like, okay, I need to do this in the mixing stage. Basically, when I catch myself tweaking a compressor too hard or tweaking a EQ too hard, I usually realize, okay, this might be a mixing problem. But for this track, that's basically it. I hope you learned a lot. I would love to hear your feedback on this course and of this track on my Instagram, on the comments, wherever you want to reach out to me. And I hope to see you guys soon. Cheers.